A Minnesota State University Mankato employee is out of a job after a federal jury convicted him for filing false tax returns at his private business. Director of African American and Multicultural Affairs, Cortez Hollis, was found guilty of filing false tax returns for clients at his private business, Hollis Tax Time. The Department of Justice said that Hollis told clients he could provide tax credits that other businesses could not, when in reality he was reporting thousands of dollars in losses for fake businesses that the clients did not own to generate larger refunds. In total, the DOJ says that Hollis falsified over $1 million in losses for clients, often paying himself $2,000 or more from the refunds. The statement about Hollis from MSU says, quote, "The university expects that employees abide by all state and federal laws, both while at work and in their personal time," end quote. Hollis's last day is scheduled for August the 2nd. His sentencing is set for a later date. Hollis was convicted on 20 counts of aiding or assisting preparation of false tax returns, which could hold a maximum penalty of 3 years in prison on each count.